Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is another remake of my video that I pushed earlier, which is using multiple GitHub accounts on the same machine. So you can check this video out. I'm not going to tell anything different. It's just that in this video I didn't cover the git push part, and I got few comments that I should explain it further, how to push different repositories. Sorry I didn't created it earlier because I haven't gone through all the comments, and I have to say YouTube notifications is not good. Like, they don't notify on mobile. Like, I literally have to go to the YouTube studio to check out those comments basically, but I'm making this video anyway. So in this video I will cover how to push to those different repositories on those different accounts. So here is a basic scenario for new users whoever is watching. So for creating SSH keys, this is the command. So you can just copy this and paste it on your terminal. Instead of this your email @example.com, you can mention your name or your unique username, whatever you want to use. It is not necessarily a example.com or email format thing. You can use anything. So here is my scenario. I have two users, user 1 and user 2. Both are having GitHub accounts. Okay, and user 1 is using on I'm using it on Chrome, and user 2, for user 2 I'm using Edge. So I'll just quickly show you. This is my Cytec coder account, which is project 2, which is the second user, and this is my first user, which is the Cytec enthusiast account, which is having project 1. Right. So coming back to the diagram. Yep. So user 1 is having project 1, user 2 is having project 2. Both the users are using GitHub and their configurations file. So after this command, you will have to run this twice. So there will be two SSH keys generated. So let me just quickly show that to you as well. I will just say open folder, select folder. So you can see there are two public private key pairs, user 1, just forgot about this file for now, user 1 and user 1 dot public, user 2 and user 2 dot public. So public key is something that you share on the GitHub or you paste it on GitHub. Private key, you should keep it with your machine. So private key does not have any extension, so this is a public private key pair, and the authentication, we call it as public key authentication. Okay, so what happens is, I will go to, let's talk about user 1 first, which is Cytec enthusiast. So I will go to settings, I will go to SSH keys, and here you can see I added this user 1 key over here. So in the SSH file, I will go to this public key, and I will add this public key over here, right? Similarly for the user 2, I have gone over here. I will just go to SSH keys, and you can see user 2 key is also added. So same thing, the user 2 dot public file that will be generated after running this command, SSH keygen command. I have added it to the GitHub like this. Okay, once this is done, then you are ready to go. So before, cloning the project, you will need this config file in the same folder where your public private key pair is by default generated. If you have generated it somewhere else, then make sure that you create this config file in the .ssh folder, which is usually in the users directory. So in my case, my username is Cytec on Windows, so it will be cusers Cytec. In Linux, you can use wherever the SSH directory is there, you have to give this path basically. So the thing that you have to care about here is, you can see I have this two GitHub accounts, and in the host I have given user 1 and user 2 as the alias or alias, whatever you call it, alias for github.com. Okay, so this user 1 is the alias for github.com, user 2 is also alias for github.com, but for this user 1 and user 2 there are some specific settings. So both these two part are the same, github.com and public key, but the identity file, which is your private key, so remember there is no extension over here. So this is your private key file for user 1, this is your private key file for user 2. The location is the same, it will be on the same path as your public key. Once this config file is done, right, so let's go back to the diagram. So you will have these two sections added on your local machine on that config path basically. So this path .sh folder path, and it is not needed really. You can create 10 users or 100 users. I don't know if there is a max limit or something. You can create as many users as you want. There will be some sections. So tomorrow if there is user 3, then I will again have to create another file, like another entry over here like this, I will definitely need the public private key pair. So let's say this IDRSA Pi, this is my Raspberry Pi public private key. So this is user 3. Then I will just say user 3, and I will just give my private key path as this file. Okay, so there is no restrictions that I know, so you can use as many users as you want. So after adding these two sections, the trick is to clone the project giving the alias basically. So by default, when you go over here to the GitHub, and this is my, let's say, repository project 1. So when I try to go to SSH and copy this command, it looks like this, right? Sorry, it looks like something like this. So git at the rate and then github.com, and then this is my static enthusiast username and repo name. So instead of this github.com, I will just delete it and use user1. That's what I did over here. So take a note of the change. Git clone git at the rate, instead of github.com I have used user1. So user1 is alias for github.com, but for this user1, this is the identity file which we want to use for authentication. Similarly for user2, this is the identity file we want to use for user2. Okay, once this is done, as you can see, I have cloned both of the repositories in the same parent folder. This project 1 belongs to user1 and this project 2 belongs to user2. What I will do is just push something and show you guys how to push it. So I have one changeme.txt, and let's say I want to update something over here. So I have changed the text of this file, and how do I push this is git add dot because I want to add everything. If you want to add a specific file, not everything, you can use git add, and basically you can refer to the git helpline, git help docs for that. So you can add whatever the file you want to stash, or whatever the file you want to stage actually. And then here I will just say git commit -m and then some commit message. So let's say changed text. Okay, after that I will just say git push. So currently we are in project 1, which belongs to this user. So in the changeme.txt, if you see, there is the text is change 1, right? Now it will be changed to, this is the update. So when I push it, so this was the question asked by many of the users, like, so the push, you have to do nothing, you just have to git push. What it will do, it will automatically, it has the link for where to push it. So if I refresh it, this is the update. As you can see, it was updated just now and we got the update. So what happens in the backend is, whenever you clone, right, whenever you clone using this alias git clone git at the rate user1, in the backend, if you go to this .git directory, which is a hidden folder usually, and let me just try to open this in VS Code. So if you see, the head, the config is there, and in the config we already have this URL, right? And in this URL we already have this user1 as an alias. So whenever you clone, so whatever the clone thing you mention, that will get added over here, and for this alias, automatically the file that you have mentioned over here, that is in the config, so this file will be used as a public key authentication for this user. So this is how it works. So in the push, basically you don't have to do anything at all, just do git push like I did, and that's it. So I will do the same for the second repository as well. So project 2, I will just close the VS Code for other things. Sorry about that. Don't save, close this. Alright, so I will now open the second project and I will show you we don't have to do anything to push the changes, right? So this is my second user which is on the edge, and here I will just delete and just type some random data, and then here I will say git add dot git commit -m, and again some commit message, and then git push. So here if you see, it automatically pushed. I didn't do anything for this project 2 as well. Whereas this project 2 is a second user, which is Cytec coder. This is my another GitHub account, and if I go to project 2, then you will see that text changed to this thing, and this is the commit that we did 22 seconds ago, right? So that's all. So after this thing, so till this part I already covered in the earlier video as well, which is this one. But since you guys have questions about it, that's why I'm creating this video, that you don't really have to do anything. Push it normally, git add dot to add everything whatever has changed, or add a selected files using git add command with different parameters, then git commit whatever your meaningful message is, and then git push. That's all. So that's it for this video, guys. If you have any doubts, let me know. I will be happy to help you out. Thank you.